please welcome to the stage Melissa Oviedo.
Good morning, everybody. So, it wouldn't be IAPAC if I don't sound like this. So, let's just lean into it. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Awesome. So we're gonna, I'm so thankful that everybody is here. Thank you for joining us. I know it's early on a Thursday morning, but we're really excited to share some updates and just an overview of what the last year has been, as well as what we're looking forward to in 2024. Is my slides showing? So first, I would like to say a huge thank you. Did everybody go to Discovery Cove Tuesday night? Via announcement, we're so excited. We actually broke a record with Discovery Cove. It was their largest event in their history. So the TEA community really does show up, and thank you so much for celebrating alongside of us. And thank you so much to our sponsors. We really could not do this without them. Sponsorship is so core to our organization and really to driving forward that mission. So I think we had about 950 people. Yeah, amazing. And just so you all know, that triples what we've done historically when we've announced it at the show. So we've had 3 times the exposure for our THEA recipients by doing this at Discovery Cove at our event. So really, really exciting. Then I want to say thank you to all of our global partners. So I'm going to read from this list. It is lengthy, but first, our global partners, Chumalong, RWS Global, Universal Creative, Walt Disney Imagineering. Then going into our innovation partners, 7 Sense, BRC Imagination Arts, Christie, Color Reflections, Nano Lumens, Panasonic Connect, Visual Terrain, Adirondack Studios, AECOM, Canyon Creative, Creature Technology, Demo D Production and Voiceover, Disney Live Entertainment, Electrosonic, IAPA, NASA, Nolan Hyman, and VCI Events. Again, guys, we can't do it without our sponsors, so please a huge thank you to all of them. And really a special thank you to Themed and Experience TV for providing the live stream for the event. So we're able to do a live stream of this so we can really connect with all of our members, no matter if they're here, if they're somewhere else in the world. So thank you to Themed Experience TV for that. Okay, I'm done with notes. So this is not also possible without our volunteer leadership. So our 2023 International Board, if you are here, please raise your hand, please stand up. This is the group really that's driving forward our strategic plan. They are the difference makers, right? Thank you all for your contributions. Really, the boards are not resume builders. They are working boards, guys. This is a group of very dedicated individuals that give their time, give their energy, give their resources on behalf of their companies, on behalf of their personal time to really give back to the association, and we're so thankful for that. We have 4 outgoing board members I'd like to acknowledge. Peter Van Roden with Warner Brothers. Nathan Jones, he's spent 6 years and has been on our executive committee, so thank you. Chris Cooch from Walt Disney Imagineering, and Brian Sands with HKS. We are so thankful for your dedicated service to the International Board over the last 3 to 6 years. I'd like to formally announce our result of our International Board election and welcome the following 6 people to the board. One thing I want to say, elections are so important, and they're important because everybody needs to come out and vote, right? This board really serves you as members, and it's so important to make sure that your voices are heard, that these perspectives are at the table, because this is how we become stronger as an association. So I'd like to welcome Wendy Hyman-Nunez, Shannon Martin, Luke Marand, Dan Nemeth, Denise Savas, and Greg Center. Please, all of you, raise your hands. Welcome to the International Board. So excited to have you as a part of the team. So Dan and Shannon are on their second term, so they actually signed up for this again, which is crazy. And Greg is joining us as his first term, coming off of Eastern Division President. And Denise, Wendy, and Luke, welcome to the team. We're excited to have you. So this is your 2024 International Board. Really exciting. Such a great diversity of perspectives, of different markets that we're serving. So we're really excited what we can do as a group. It's really about getting the right people on the bus and in the right seats. I'm fortunate. I get to have this platform to talk to you all, but it's really so much more than just myself. It's our staff. It's our team. Lindsay's going to come up and tell you a little bit more about what headquarters is doing, but it's really about getting the right people on the bus and in the right seats. And you're going to start to see a lot of shifts and changes. We depend on not only our staff, but also our volunteer leadership to really champion this message and be our voice back to the members. We need to know what you want, what's important to you, and then really how can we continue to evolve as an association. I am so excited. We have a president-elect, Matt Thornton. Yeah. So Matt's term as president will begin January 1 of 2025. So why do we do this? Succession planning is critical in this association. We need to make sure we are planning for the future. We are planning and giving people the right tools to really be successful in this position. So now everything with Matt in the role, he's going to be looking at governance and bylaws and how we really continue to champion our strategic plan that we put back in place when Chuck was president a couple of years back, and how we continue to move that needle forward. So very pleased to welcome Matt in that role. Man, you guys have put me around the world in 320 days, right? So meeting the members and seeing what you do and where you are and what drives you from a global perspective is so important. And I've been really fortunate to be able to travel to Asia, to Europe multiple times, and really get to know the members a bit more, really understand what it is. What are the things that keep you up at night, and how can the association continue to champion those messages on a day-to-day basis? So we're going to continue this. I think next year we're on even more trips. And I have to say a thank you to NASL for supporting this effort. Really, this is something that is critically important to us as an association. Going to IAPAs globally, going to see our members in their destinations, understanding the markets that they serve, and then hearing from all of you. So we did do a trip to China. TEA goes to China. Hashtag. So I want to acknowledge Charmelong. And I also want to make something very clear. Charmelong sponsored this trip. And they did it for a lot of reasons, which I'll get into. But I want to say a huge thank you that the executive committee did a delegation to China back in August, where we got to see Disney Hong Kong, all of Charmelong's parks and resorts and their future development, Universal Beijing, and then Steve and Chuck and I went over to Abu Dhabi and got to see SeaWorld. Abu Dhabi, and all of the Morale Parks. So we want to say a big thank you to Chamalong for hosting us, to our partners with our guided tours, and then to the organizations of each of those individuals that supported this trip and the travel expenses associated with it. So why did we go to China? Why was this so important? We really wanted to connect with our members who live, work, and play in China. We wanted to experience firsthand the new and the new developments that were made, the attractions that were developed by our TEA global partners during the pandemic and now post-pandemic. We wanted to also experience and celebrate excellence with them all. As you all know, we were able to award Universal Beijing with 3 THEAs this past year, and none of us had been able to actually see the park once it had been opened. We also wanted to understand the upcoming business opportunities that existed in China. China's open. China needs this community to come back to work and to really support some of those development efforts that are happening in that region of the world. So we wanted to give some more visibility. We had the opportunity to meet with the U.S. Consulate in Hong Kong and the Department of Commerce to talk about the future development of themed entertainment in Hong Kong, mainland China, and Macau, and the opportunities are vast there. So we were really excited to just bring that visibility, and you'll see more of these types of delegation trips moving forward. Reality check. With no money, no mission. The TEA is still developing and building back from a pandemic. Lindsay's going to get into the financials. I'm not going to get into the details, but the TEA is still operating at a net loss. Net loss. So everything we do has to be strategic. We have to put the money in the right places. We have to be strategic about how we're bringing value to our members, because we have a lot of great ideas. There's a lot of initiatives out there of what we can do and what we should be doing. But we need to make sure that we're net profitable in order to drive that mission forward. So when we say no money, no mission, it's really look at the TEA as a catalyst for what you all need us to be. And look at how we're building our bench, we're building our capacity, we're building our competencies, and looking at how we evolve as an association. Evolution is necessary to stay relevant. Relevance matters. And if you're not constantly evolving and constantly looking at what are we doing, how are we doing it, and what else should we be doing, we are not going to be able to stay relevant in our industry. Evolution is necessary. And I truly believe your international board, your division boards, your volunteer leaderships, your various committees from TEA masters, past presidents, TEAs, we're all on the same page that relevance really matters and evolution, not where we've been for the last 30 years, but where are we going in the next 30. And I'm really excited for that progress. We are going Hollywood, right? So we just launched our TE Inspire program. This is a very different program, probably than even what some are used to. We're doing our leadership forum again this year, which is focused on our CEO or C-suite executive leadership teams. We're also launching something that's focused on our mid-level career, our production sessions. This is a boots in dirt, get things done, lessons learned from the field, production sessions that we're going to be hosting concurrently alongside of leadership forums. So take a look at that, and if you would like to participate, let us know. We're also thrilled to announce that Universal Studios Hollywood is hosting us for an amazing welcome reception on Thursday evening, opening up the entire lower lot for us. So we're really excited to expand there. And then the Theas, come and celebrate with us. This is really where the magic happens. This is where us as a community can celebrate excellence together alongside of our peers, our collaborators, of all of the amazing projects that we've been able to deliver over the last couple of years. And we're in Hollywood. Totally different feel than what we've done before, but we can't wait to show you all what we have in store there. With that being said, I am now very pleased to introduce TEA's Executive Director, Lindsay Nelson, to go through a more detailed operations and status report with you.
Good morning, everyone. So good to see you. Thank you for making the walk over here. I know that was long. It was longer than I remember, and it was hotter than Chicago. So thanks for coming out. It is always such a pleasure to come and talk to you all. I sit in my home office in Chicago most of the time on conference calls and view you all through a little square. So it's great to see you all in the flesh and to take the opportunity. I think I have 14 minutes now to tell you a little bit about what we've done in the last 365 days. Our mission every day, the TEA team, is to deliver value to you. Everything we do, we're thinking about how we can facilitate networking, enhance our connection with you, and as Melissa said, drive a profitable, sustainable, growth-oriented business that's going to be here today and well into the future. So that is, I'm going to try to give you a little look at some of the highlights of what we've done this year that have achieved that. I do want to start by saying and highlighting the work of our divisions. The divisions are really our workforce, an extension of our workforce. We have about 7 full-time equivalent employees, but we've got an army that's about 120 strong of volunteers out in the field around the globe that are able to execute all of that. It's just incredible. And among my association colleagues in the industry, nobody has this. So I just feel really lucky to be a part of an organization that has that kind of horsepower and support in its industry. As you can see, there's great diversity there in the types of programs we're able to provide members. This just represents division events. In total, 69 events, both virtual and in person. 26% of those are virtual, so that is, something that is kind of left behind from the pandemic that I think is really positive. Not everyone was in a region that they can go to an in-person event, so I think it's really a good thing that we've maintained that and continue to engage members, whether they live in a big city or not. And of course, we have all of our signature events as well that are not reflected on this slide. This is really, I love this. Thank you, Ben, for this. And it's working, so don't worry. This just illustrates, too, now our global reach has been extended. For the first time in, I think, 3 years, we were back in Asia, Philippines, Singapore with our events, the Middle East and Europe, including Austria, Belgium, England, France, Germany, Netherlands. Did I say Saudi Arabia? There we go. And of course, North America, California, Colorado, Illinois, Florida, and Vancouver, British Columbia. And of course, our signature events, our State Europe program that was hosted in Europa Park this year, which was a huge success. Our guests there got to see and experience the THEA award-winning Adrenaline, as well as be entertained by a host of fantastic speakers. And then we were entertained just recently in Kansas City with wonderful speakers there and all kinds of wonderful Midwest hospitality. In total, 450 attendees across both programs. We also did a lot of work relaunching 2 major signature brands, TEA Inspire, as Melissa talked about, is a relaunch, rebrand of the TEA case studies. We felt like we needed a name that really reflected what we wanted our members to get out of the session, or what they were getting out of that experience. We wanted them to be inspired by excellence. And so we came up with this name. We think it reflects the brand pretty well. And then as part of that, we launched the TEA Inspire Leadership Forum, which was wildly successful. 100 executive leaders and CEOs gathered to talk about the issues that CEOs need to talk about. It can be lonely at the top. There are issues around culture, leadership, succession planning, and this event provided a forum of confidence for those leaders to convene. And it was a pilot to see if it had legs, if it was a sticky concept that we could reproduce elsewhere. Feedback was good, and we saw it in some of our divisions picking up the concept and carrying it forward. So we're relaunching that again this year, just under the name Leadership Forum. So as Melissa mentioned, we'll see that as part of the registration package for Inspire again. And I believe we have some divisions also doing programs this year as well. I know Western has something on the books for January, and I think EME has something scheduled for early next year as well. So, in addition to all of the events, we really work to enhance our connection, our ability to connect with members throughout the year. And there are many ways we do this, but I just wanted to focus on two major ways that we did this. One of the ways was in June. We did in partnership with our divisions, our executive leadership and our staff, we did a Maximizing Your Membership webinar. This was the second time we did this webinar. We iterated on the concept that we had done last year and presented to the membership. Anyone who wanted to attend could dial in and learn about the ways of, the things we publish in our membership brochure, the value we deliver, but also the intangible things that you get from TEA membership. It's hard to put in the brochure, but that a member of the Western Board or Eastern Board or European Board can express what's the value to them, what do they get out of being a member. So it was a great opportunity to go through all of those benefits, to answer questions. The session was recorded and it's now archived on the TEA website and as a resource that we share with members as part of their onboarding package. As an enduring resource for us, and we'll continue to do that year over year. We thought that delivered a lot of value. And then the second thing on the screen here is a kind of a blurry snapshot of our TEA Tell, our weekly digest newsletter that comes out and lands in your inbox Friday morning or Thursday afternoon. That is a snapshot of everything happening around the globe at TEA that week. What's coming up, what happened, event recaps. If you missed it, you can catch it here. It's a great way to see, mark your calendar and keep a pulse on what's happening with TEA. We were getting a lot of feedback that, can you stop with the emails? We're getting like hundreds of emails a week. So hopefully you're feeling a little less pressure in your inbox and you're looking forward to getting that email to get all of your TEA information each week. So these are some of the key programmatic things that we've delivered this year that we felt kind of rose to the top of the list. We've also been doing a lot of work to make this a more effective organization. And I think, Melissa's very direct message about no money, no mission is like, oh, yeah, right. Like we're having a lot of fun, but we've got to make sure we stay on course too. So a lot of our work has been focused on building that sustainable, profitable, growth-oriented organization. And I think in order to really understand and appreciate kind of where we're going, we need to stop for a minute and take a look back at where we've been. So I've got a slide. Hopefully you can see it. If you can't read the numbers, the bar graph kind of does a good job of telling the story. This is a graphic illustration of our profit and loss statement over the last 8 years. And it shows you kind of where we've been, the impact of the pandemic, and our climb out. So you can see, and I'm going to kind of be looking down here because I do have some notes that I want to make sure I hit on this. The 4 years leading up to the pandemic, so starting in 2016, not huge revenues, but steady growth, right? I mean, the organization was doing well, it was profitable, those profits were being reinvested into the company's reserves. Expenses were being managed. In 2019, they were starting to see more expenses related to the production of the Theas. That was about the time that we were starting to see increased costs associated with that. But things were pretty good. Then, of course, 2020, I'm sure dip looks familiar. Many of you probably see that on your P&L. PEA, where the revenue stopped. The revenue that you do see there was any dues that may have come in the first quarter before the disaster, some event revenues that came in, and then on the expense side, TEA did continue to have the same expenses. Nothing really changed there. We didn't produce a gala that year, but we invested in digital content and digital platforms. So, the organization was putting on, investing in the digital platforms, putting on, I don't know if we had a SAFE that year, but I think we did digital case studies. So there were things that we kept on producing. Then in 2021, there were no live events the first part of the year, but by June, July, we saw the return of live events. I also joined the organization around that time, and we started to resume member dues billings. So that's when you see that uptick in revenue. We were like, can't live like this forever, and the PPP loans were stopping. So we wanted to get the member dues back up and running. Obviously, expenses were increasing too because we're starting to build our staff capacity. By 2022, we were producing our first gala again. Now, revenues were not fully back for the gala. We were carrying credits forward from 2020, but we had fully loaded expenses. And we were also seeing that we did not have as much in-kind support for the gala as we had prior to the pandemic. Generous volunteers who were able to provide products and services. Things were it was much more challenging to be able to donate that kind of service in that period. So we were buying a lot more. And then present day 2023, Q1, Q2 was a little bit of a slower start. We did not meet our projections for Inspire and Theas. Sponsorship was a little hesitant in many ways. We did not meet our sponsorship goal, and we fell short on attendance. But Q3 and Q4 have been fantastic. All of the events in Q3 and Q4 have surpassed their goals. And so we're feeling like, I don't know if everyone else feels this way. I've heard a lot of optimism in the booth this week about, where the industry is, people are back to work, but we're feeling good about it. And so as we look ahead to 2024, we are really feeling like we can balance this budget next year. And that is our goal. We invested over that period that you see the last 4 years, about $800,000 out of TEA's reserves. So thank goodness we had that. Thank goodness for the foresight of the leadership that came before us, that money was available to us, a very long rainy day fund. But we're ready to stop spending and to start replenishing and balance our budget in 2024. This is why we feel we can do it. This is a leading indicator in associations. Membership leads the way. Today we have over 1,400 members, and it's growing. 59% represent company memberships, and we have 488 new members so far this year. Interestingly, though, the largest growth of the new member category is from individuals, which are students in the academic category. So, maybe that's a trend. I don't know. It is a little hard. We've done a lot of cleanup in our database, and there's a lot of things starting new as far as our tracking of what's normal. So we'll see. This is something we're monitoring to see kind of where our membership trends are going, but we're prepared to, serve that community and to listen to what their unique needs are. As of November 1st, we were at 97% of our 2023 revenue goal. I can tell you that we've surpassed that. We are over 100% of our revenue goal for membership, which, thank you. Which was a 44% increase over last year. And that is really, a lot of that was just being diligent. But we have an excellent staff. Becky and Adora has done an awesome job getting our database clean. Yay. Building process, automation, and working really diligently with our division volunteers to make sure that we're following up. If someone's on the drop list, that we're calling, and most often people who are on the drop list are like, "Oops, sorry, I didn't see the email," and we get them in need right away. So it's been a great partnership with our divisions. So we also talked a little bit getting the right people on the bus and the right seats. This is another big piece of how we're going to get the budget balanced and really capitalize on this momentum that we're feeling right now. And I do want to start by saying that the team we have in place right now has been critical to getting us to where we are today and to building the infrastructure, as we just said, Becky, all the work she's done to get the database in place. But we're going to need more as we go into the future. We need the next level of depth, industry expertise, and longevity with the association to really sustain this momentum. And so we are looking at our organizational structure and refining the structure so it really supports the strategic pillars of our strategic plan. And so as you look at the three boxes that popped up below there, we're building our new team structure around these pillars. So industry relations being our outward image to the industry and to people who don't know anything about us. So this kind of covers sponsorship, it covers marketing, it covers strategic partnerships and alignment, telling our story to the world. Programs and services is core member value, the products we develop, educational content, and member services. And then finance and administration is how we run an effective business. So this is our org chart in transition. Where you see faces are the team that's in place currently, and kind of where you see the shadows or the holes or what we're going to be transitioning over the next 7 months. So we've got our core team from IMN, currently really anchoring our programs and services department, and over the next couple of months, we're going to be transitioning that team very methodically and in a very strategic way. We're also trying to execute a 30th anniversary event. So we want to make sure we don't tip this thing out of control, but we do have to make these transitions and execute an event at the same time. So right now you may have seen that we've got a director of business operations position open to be the head of our programs and services division. So if you know any excellent, really driven project manager, team leaders who need an excellent person in that role. We brought on Chloe Husfeld to lead our industry relations department. I'm sure many of you know Chloe. We are so excited to have her, and she's just got an amazing shared vision for what we want to do there. So we're really excited to get her started. And then Johnny Fields, we brought on in August, who has a great background in association finance, and he's just done a great job transitioning us from our outsourced partner already. So we're really excited to work with him. So in closing, we're hiring. This is my ad. I'm going to close up the advertising. We have one position open now, but we will have more. So please look. Marketing will be the next one. And that is a role. I'm sure there's many in the audience who you probably know really good people. So that will be the next role that we're looking to fill. So if you know great people, email us at this address. Thank you so much. Thank you for being there with us through all of this. I know it's been a crazy couple of years, but I mean, clearly you are so engaged and you're here for the ride. You're here thick and thin, and we are just so grateful to have you as our members. So thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Adrian. Where are you, Adrian? Our APAC board president, to share with you some updates from that region. Thank you.
Good morning. Hi, I think let me introduce myself again. I'm Adron. I come from Malaysia. Can I ask a fan who has been to Malaysia? Wow, I'm glad. Okay, this is the first time that APAC has someone on the stage from Southeast Asia. So who knows Southeast Asia countries? Wow, I'm glad. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, at least I'm talking to an audience that understand Asia. Asia is such a big area and such a unique area. And then this is where TA make the difference. Correct? Let's have some response, please. This is still in the morning, right? Okay, I mean, just now Lindsay did a wonderful job with all the finances, everything. But now this is the division reports where the funds begins. Okay? Thank you. Well, this whole year, I think the division in APAC has a lot of fun. Of course, we have all the funds from the executive committee that came to Malaysia. You can see all of them are having fun. We visited a new park, not so-called a new park, a park that become a member of TA. This is one of the 30-year-old park in Sunway Lagoon. I think some of you have been in Asia will have heard of this park, and now they are TA member as well. And of course, Bunting Skywalls. We have been to that and visited that. The most important that we visited the park before APAC came in. And I think we saw Jacob, and he was surprised that we were there before him. Okay, and we attended some wonderful events, the local awards events that we have. We attended that as well, and you can see Melissa is very, very sexy there. And because of how she dressed, she's getting all the beers the whole night, free flow of beers. Thanks to Melissa, we got all the beers that we want for that night. Yeah, this is the gala that we had. Well, this is a snapshot of what we have in June, just before the IAPA in Asia. And of course, we have our APAC first board, the board meeting face-to-face after such a long time in Singapore. Thanks to New Global for sponsoring that as well. Yep. And this is the New Global office that we visited, and the mixer. And of course, our APAC mixer in Singapore was a hit. I think we have overflow of people out of the bar and restaurant. And of course, we have free flow of wine and beers. So next time, if you hear of any mixer in APAC, please come and join. It's free flow of beers and wine. Yeah, these are some of the events that we have in Singapore. Okay, so we have a lot of fun actually this year. So next year we have more activities and fun coming soon. This is as well in, I think what Melissa has shared as well, some of the visits that we have in Hong Kong, in China, Chamlong. There are new attractions. So hope if those who are going to Asia, please visit this wonderful establishment. This new attraction is beautiful. You can spend nearly 1 or 2 days inside the establishment. And this is one of the attractions that we visited in the water park. It's a tier award winner. We were glad that we were there as well. Okay, this is where the executive committee went to work. They were grilled in an interview session while they will think they can enjoy. But yeah, this is how they enjoy their life over in China. Correct, Chuck? Okay, we are on the top of the world. There's new exciting what I call development coming from this place as well. So we were the first hand to look at the development, and we were still wearing the hard hats, and we actually literally had to climb the construction site. So you see how the what I call the leadership has to go through to bring more excitement to TA. Don't worry, Matt, we will include you the next round. Okay, this is our visit to Universal Beijing as well. This is the ending of the trip in Beijing. And these are some of the numbers. I won't bore you with these numbers. We are still a small community in APAC. I hope those who raise their hands, please make sure if your companies have representative in APAC region, please make sure they join the APAC events so that we also can grow the membership there as well. Okay, these are some of the exciting events that's coming over to APAC region for coming year. So please take notes of this. We will share in coming times. We wanted to have more and more events and also more sharing and explores. We're going to have it in the coming time. So hope that the members here are able to send your representative, and also if you all are in the region, like I saw so many hands raised, please do attend those events. Okay, and just to thank you and farewell to our outgoing board members, Mark Schimmer, Tony Duan, James Liu, and Janice. Okay, and of course, we have a new board members coming. We have Henry from Shanghai Disney and Shanti. Then we have Daniel from K2. She's based in Singapore, Indonesia. Then we have Jonathan Kaysen. He's based in California, USA. And of course, we have the returning board members for the second term. We have Stephen. Stephen, all right. Thank you for volunteering another term. And we have Mike, also from 7 Cents, Rick Aton, Veta Workshop, and Darren Lim from Young Global. And I'm going to introduce the executive committee for APAC region. After a couple of years of absence, we need to establish more effective working relationship. That's why I'm going to set up the executive committee. I have Stephen and Mike as vice president for the APAC region. Stephen, thank you. And Osman, being the secretary. Yeah, he's going to have, he's our APAC whip. Those who are not attending board meetings, he's the whip. And if Enya, our treasurer, he's going to improve the finances and get more money back to the group, TA. Yeah, so Lizzie can spend more money. And of course, not spending for the sake of spending, but improving more for the TA. So the next year, her reports will be much, much better. And of course, Mason, our events director. Okay, so what you see, the list of the events, Mason has a lot of tasks to do, of course, with the whole board supporting him, I think, and everyone here. I hope you all can support APAC events. And going forward, I think there will be an exciting year for APAC. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, I pass now to Eastern Board. Greg.
Yeah, mic check 1, 2.
Gratuitous self-promotion. Thank you. Welcome everybody. To start off with EME, we had a great year. So take a look. We rehearsed this. Thanks again, Trevor, for putting that together. And thanks to the, and I'll come back to it, the divisional sponsors there that we showed in the slide there at the end. I'm mostly going to cover the update in one slide. What was really important to us this year, right at the beginning of the year, we had our executive committee get together and we wanted to rethink and really kind of reevaluate what it was that Eastern was doing in regards to events and outreach. And what we started with was we said, who are our members and how are they broken up? And what we came up with was really that we have early next gens, but early career. We have our, man, that print is really small, mid-career, our executive leadership, and then companies as a member as well. There, thank you very much. So how do we use that information? What we wanted to do is do smaller events, better events. We wanted to target those and really reach out and make sure that we were covering events for different types of membership. When we look at that, what we see is that the mixers, which Eastern's very successful with our divisional mixers, but what we weren't doing is engaging executive leadership. So we did create the leadership dinner that we held in August. It was really successful. And I'm very proud that it was successful enough that we're going to use that and it's going to be carried over to the other divisions and grow that program and make sure that we're continuously reaching out to the executive leadership for a lot of reasons. One, because they're members and they're an important part of the members because oftentimes they control the checkbooks. And we all need that as Melissa had talked about too. So we wanted to make sure that we are engaging them and creating an event that welcomed them back into TEA, and that was important as well. Otherwise, we really wanted to have really good content. We wanted to be educational. We wanted to do outreach, continue our hubs program, and we've had pretty good success with that as well. Thank you to the members that are timing out, myself included. Jay Jensen, is Jay here or Dan? Jay's over here. Is Dan here? I know there's a lot of things going on today. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be on the board with you and create such strong friendships. And I appreciate both of you very, very much. And I'll talk to you later about that. Returning members, AJ was elected to a second term, Dana Worthington and Chris Grapp. Are you guys here? I know I saw Dana's over here, AJ. Not sure if Chris is here. And then our new members, very happy to announce Emily Popovich. I think you're here. Back in the back. Nico. I saw Nico too. Congratulations. And of course, James Anderson. We talked this morning, walked over. I'm really, really excited for this new board, for Matthew, who is the incoming president-elect. Matthew, if you could come up, please. Matthew's walking into a really, really great board. He has been instrumental over the last year when we did this evaluation and looked at who our membership types were. Both Matthew and AJ were instrumental on this investigation and how we did our growth this year. Awkward moment now. So there's a tradition. I'm not going to go too deep into it. There's this tradition of this really awkward drinking apparatus. I know that I was the 5th person to receive this, and now you are officially the 6th person. But I did want to change it up because I like to put my spin on things. So very much in the tradition of the gypsy robe from Broadway, I've added something to this, and what I would challenge you is for you to do the same. And as you hand it on, everyone who now has had it will leave their mark on it as well. Have this thing.
Well, thank you for this. It means something. I will gently place it here because we have something for you as well. So we're all the reflection of the people that have invested in us. I wouldn't be here without this man. You're a man of passion, a man of action, and you are indefatigable in your efforts for the TEA. I get my quarter for the day. Thank you for being our fearless leader. We appreciate you, and I'm glad you continue to be a leader on the international board. Well, I know we've all got a busy day today. So I first want to thank TEA staff. Lindsay, you all do so much to support us. And I was reflecting about what I wanted to say about the upcoming year and what we'll accomplish together as a board. I think of myself as a conduit of information. It'll be my job to listen to our divisional members, to gather feedback, positive, constructive, negative at times, and to try and translate back why the actions that are taking place within the TEA are occurring. Because I can assure you from my vantage point, being lucky enough to serve on our new investment committee within the iBoard Finance Committee as treasurer for the Eastern Division, and in some of the strategic planning exercises happening within the TEA, there's a great deal of effort being taken right now, strategic thinking, and just deliberate action. You know, I see the TEA as a maker organization. We support a ever-increasing need to provide experiential events, not just to traditional themed entertainment sources, but to the retail space, to hospitality, real estate. The need for what we do grows year over year, and we're all very lucky to be able to call this work. There's a positive momentum. Keep doing what you're doing, and let me know how I can help. And with that, I want to introduce our next division president, Chris Wilrich.
There's a story behind this. When my dad was the EME president years ago now, I was sat down somewhere over there and he walked up to music and I thought, what would mine be? I took a long old, it was going to be, first off, it was going to be Circle of Life. You know, the big key change in that, that's super cool. I was going that and I thought, no, what if I learned to dance? Pick that song and then thought, no, definitely not. This is too terrifying to manage anything like that. So, hi, I'm Chris. Good morning. First thing I need to do is bring Yale up onto the stage. Yale was the president before me, and she didn't get to do this last year. So, big round of applause for Yale, please.
Okay, trying again. Yes, there we go. Yeah, Chris, I have to say a big thank you to Chris because unfortunately, due to personal reasons, I could not come last year and have my big show and tell of what we did and how great the EME board was. So Chris had to step up 3 months early. So well done. I also want to just say thank you to Lindsay and Melissa and Chuck, because you guys were all very, very supportive at a difficult time. And to anyone who's here on the EME board that was there when I was in charge, please stand up because I want to give you all a big thank you. You're all awesome. We navigated a difficult time under my presidency. We went from COVID lockdowns to live events. And it was a very weird transition with planning events and then having to cancel them and then planning other ones and then actually going ahead. And I do want to say that, you know, in my own personal opinion, we did the best IAPA Europe mixer ever on the boat.
I think we did.
Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I just want to say thank you, Chris, for stepping up and
My
keep
absolute
rocking
pleasure.
it.
I would do anything for you. Oh, I'm double miking.
One more plug. One of the things that we actually did work on in the last couple of years was trying to reach out into other industries and emerging markets. We have a very solid relationship now with the Saudi Entertainment Expo, where we've been doing some really good educational sessions and a barter agreement because, as Melissa said, no money, no mission. So it's about thinking creatively in terms of how to do those partnerships. Another good partnership we have is with the MAPIC Expo, which happens in 2 weeks' time in France, which is a big retail industry show. And as retail is getting more and more into our space and needing our services and our assistance, it is becoming more important for TA members. So if anybody is planning on going, please get in touch with me. We have some mixers happening there and we can do the introductions and such as needed. Thank you.
So now it's the bit that we like doing. Here's a year in review. Yes. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors for this year. It has been excellent. I was hoping that that QR code would come through a little bit better because I'm trying to plug our LinkedIn because that's how we like to communicate. It's going quite well in forcing you all to follow that. We are getting so much more engagement. We're getting people talking to us better. We're getting words fail, Chris. I'm just so terrible at doing this. Use the LinkedIn. It's helpful. I'm moving on. Thank you to our outgoing board members, especially David Camp, who's been our treasurer for the last 6 years. But thank you to all of you for all of your efforts. And then here are our incoming board members. We've got Joe Graziano, George Lawton, Fabian Manuel, Valeria Rizzo, Jerome Verizon, and Benyaret Hoff. If you are here, please stand up. You guys don't know what you've let yourself in for. And then we've got our returning board members. We've got TEA Master, Bjorn Hirvagen, and Susie Griffiths. I know neither of them are here, but they're awesome, so they get pictures on the screen. And then our wonderful board for 2024, supported by and mostly doing all of the work in making sure I get my job done. The bottom row there, we've got Paul Taylor as our secretary. We've got Danielle Tanton, who is president-elect, and Paul Kent. And then Vivian is taking over from David as our treasurer. We wouldn't have got through this year without especially Danielle and Paul. So I know Danielle's not here, but Paul, you get a round of applause all on your own. Thank you so much. I can't do it without you guys. Anything else to do with EME, talk to me or the board. I'm much better at a bar than I am stood here, so I'm not doing a whole thing. That's going to be me. So I'm going to hand over to the Western Division President, Tracy.
Right. Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm so happy to be here and see all of you. I'm having so much fun. I hope you are too. So you can tell from the recap of our year, it was a lot of fun. We do a lot of events and so proud of all of the team members that come together to make this happen. So we had, here we going? There we go. 24 events, 2,000 participants, and we fundraised over $24,000. I think that was a very good year. 7 educational events, 5 behind the scenes, 4 open houses, 3 hub events, 3 no-host mixers, and 1 next-gen speed networking event. So that kept us very busy, and we have more planned for 2024. We're going to add in a leadership dinner on January 18th, and TEA Explores Las Vegas, February 21st through 23rd. So look for those invites. That's coming up soon. But I neglected to tell you about our last party that's coming up, and we are going to Universal. We're going to have party at Grinchmas. So the invite's coming out. It's soon, December 6th. So please come if you can. I know it's the same date as Eastern. I'm so sorry. That's just how it worked out. So sorry, Greg. And I want to thank our sponsors for that, Tate and Universal. Speaking of sponsors, this is everybody that helped contribute to all those events and help raise the fundraising that we did. So shout out to everybody there. And all the volunteers that go along with all the sponsors. We have some in the audience today. I can't recognize everybody, but we have some from our communications team and our events team. And just thank you for being a volunteer and working so hard. So speaking of volunteers, I want to share all of the current members on the Western Division and recognize them, their companies and who they are. And they just devote so much time. And we appreciate you. So thank you for the whole team. But we just don't plan events. We also do lots of other things on our committees. These are all of our committees. And we welcome anybody that's not a board member to join us on our committees. So if you want to volunteer, then I encourage you to all talk to one of these people with the funny hats on, with the Grinchmas hats on. Those are all our old and incoming board members. So but I want to recognize those that are departing. Yeah. So we got the hands clapping on a little too soon, but we are losing 8 people. So we're we're turning over a big board. But farewell and thank you very much, Walter, Courtney, CJ, Jamie Hamlin, Michael Libby, Jeanette Lumley, Eric Nixon, Raina Ross. Oh. And newly elected board members. This is it. Wow. So this whole list, we have 10 new members, half our board almost turning over. So welcome, Darren Brown and Kelly Saul, who are returning. Congratulations. Suzanne from Disney, Andy Fassman, Shireen from EOS, Sam Lieberstein, Thinkwell, Mel McGowan, who is returning after a hiatus, Storyland, Jeff Moskowitz from Walt Disney Imagineering, Ken Neville from Yelwolf, and Brett Wilkes from, Legoland. It's crooked. So big round of applause for those coming in. So now we're going to, yep. Oh, I missed the slide. All right, so now we're going to Q&A, and Matt Barton is going to join us.
I did not choose that music. Thank you, Tracy. So this is a members meeting, and we wanted to have a Q&A with our members, but it's also a meeting where we try to cram in a lot in a very short period of time. So what we asked, hopefully you saw it in the TETV a couple of weeks ago, was for you to send us some questions in advance so we could answer them here today. We're going to get through a few. We've only got time for a few right now. But we'll also be at the TA booth from 11:30 till 12:30 today. So if you've got questions that come to your mind because of what you've heard today, please come and find us on the booth, and we'd be happy to talk to you more. In the future, we're going to look at other ways we can do Q&A throughout the year, because it's really important we hear the feedback from all of you members. So Melissa and Lindsay, if you could come and join me on the stage, and we'll go through just a couple of these questions. So I just get to read the questions out. I get the easy bit. These guys are on the spot to answer them. So, okay, so we're going to start. We have a question from Jasmine from New York. So what are your efforts to create a diverse audience to represent themed entertainment going forward?
Lucky me. So listen, diversity is a huge challenge in this industry. It is something that we are evolving into. Diversity takes shape in a lot of different ways, though. The International Board has a very key strategic focus on creating a diverse perspective. What does diversity really mean, though? It's more than just how you're genetically made up. It's your perspective, the markets you serve, the geographic regions you represent. Where are you? What perspectives are you bringing to the table? All of those aspects are what creates diversity in this industry. We need you all, though, to step up and to help us recognize those that bring those diverse perspectives. We have a lot of opportunities to represent diversity in our recognition programs, our TEA Masters, our THEA awards, and our recipients, our Buzz Prize Award recipients. But we need you all to nominate those people, bring them forward. We don't know everybody in the industry. We rely on our members to bring those individuals forward that we need to be recognizing, that we need to be electing to our boards, not only international boards, but division boards. So are we there as a diverse industry? No, not yet. We aren't. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But are we making some notable progress? We absolutely are. And we need you all to really help champion those messages.
Thanks, Melissa. Okay, moving on. A question from Kyle from San Francisco, and I know Kyle's here because I can see him right in front of me. What is the status of, or what are the chances of launching educational, professional development, information and resource track, if not actual programs? So, Lindsay, do you want to take it?
Absolutely. Thank you, Kyle, for your question. And I got a chance to clarify the question further with Kyle after he submitted that. So TEA is really unique in the way we program events because a lot of the programming is done at the divisional level, as you could see from the slide that I had up earlier. So there are a lot of opportunities for programming, but the disadvantage, if there is one, is that it is a little decentralized right now. So there are opportunities. I know that in the EME division, there is a program that they currently have called the EME Roundtable that happens. Chris, what's the frequency of that? Every 2 months that does get at that. I think the TEA Leadership Forum is also a place that really is, as we think about professional development track, I think that's green pasture for, you're talking about, Kyle, really a place for professional development, and that there could be some spinoffs from that. I also would encourage anyone who's really passionate about education to submit for the call for proposals. It kind of gets back to Melissa's comment about diversification. We don't get that many submissions, and the ones we do get are often from the same people. So submit. If you have an idea, sometimes even a seed of an idea can give the programming committee something to go off of, and they can follow up with you and maybe combine you with another panel. So it has been a challenge. We're working on it. I think our divisions do a pretty good job. But we are also working at HQ to put some more structured resources around centralizing an education function that would help provide some additional consistency. It's great that there's a lot happening all over the globe divisionally, but it would be great too if there was a central point where all these things feed and that we build somewhat of a bench of speakers and knowledge that we can all tap into. So we, as you saw from the org chart, we've added under programs and service a digital content coordinator and over programs. So Ben Donan is going to be joining our team next week. He's helping us build a archive of speakers that we've used for our programs. So we're hoping to build some tools that will help our division leaders and as well as HQ better understand who our experts are in the industry and program our events in a more effective way. So that is a very long answer to your question, Kyle, but I hope it's helpful and gives you a sense of where we're kind of looking in a short-term and long-term basis.
Okay, thanks, Kyle. Stephen from Santa Clarita. I know that during the peak pandemic, dues were suspended and members were not dropped for non-payment. What effect has this had on financial health of the organization, and what is the strategy for the future?
You guys saw the slide. Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself. It obviously had a major impact. The pandemic is something we are still rebuilding from and climbing out of. The past leadership had amazing foresight in helping us build that rainy day fund. And that's really what has helped sustain the association through these last 4 years. However, momentum is here, and we are very, very optimistic of what 2024 looks like. We are putting the resources, the initiatives, and the work into really building out our programs and our services to our members, really making sure that you see on a day-to-day basis what the member value is of the TEA. So when Chloe comes to you and says, hey, how can we help support your business? How can we give the visibility that you need as a member owner or a company to give you the right visibility in the right places to the right people, then the value is there. That value proposition is something that we're working on diligently to make sure that's being communicated effectively. So yes, it did have an effect, but it was the right thing to do at the right time, is to make sure that our membership was sustained, that they felt supported as they were also going through the pandemic. But as we start to rebuild our financial health as an association, like I said, we're very optimistic for 2024.
Great, thank you. And the last question that we're going to cover today, and as I say, please come and find us on the booth later if you've got more questions. But another one from Jasmine from New York. How can you make the TEA membership valuable to individual freelancers?
That is a good one. That is more difficult. I think first off, we would like to understand that better ourselves. So we would, as I said earlier, Becky's done a great job helping us stabilize membership, grow it, get processes and procedures in place. So we're optimizing and we have the structure in place to bill and be effective. But we need to really understand motivations for membership. And I think individual membership is a category that we need to understand better. But I think there are some things we have in place that we do understand about individual members. I think we understand that they obviously cannot pay the same rates that big companies can pay. So our structure is designed inherently to support that. We are based on company employee count. So if you're a company of one, you pay the lowest rate, and we don't anticipate that changing. As we designed the pricing structure for Inspire, as an example, this year, we really designed it kind of with a choose your own adventure structure in mind. Yes, there are elements of Inspire that are expensive. It is a tremendously valuable program that takes a lot of resources to produce. I'm just going to be honest. But we know there are people who might want to come for just a piece of the day, or maybe they want to do the Inspire the Night event, or maybe the pop-up production sessions would be of value. So we have allowed attendees to select the element of Inspire that is going to suit them the most, and maybe it's everything. But so that was a special accommodation that we felt supported individual members that may have lower budgets. Let's see if I had another point. And then, of course, our global divisions. I think that's, again, the beauty of our structure. That division model really allows for access to events, a lot of free, I think, just as the division presidents were up there again, just reiterating the fact that there are a lot of free mixers throughout the month. I mean, there's webinars to participate in. So I think all of those things do support, at least from a financial standpoint, smaller companies. But again, I do, and my team does seek to understand at a greater level additional needs, educational needs for individual members. So that's something we'll be working on in the coming year.
Great. So thank you, Melissa and Lindsay. That concludes the Q&A for here and now. But as I say, we're going to carry it on the booth, and we're going to carry it on throughout the year. There is so much feedback, and we really appreciate it, and we invite it all the time. And please know that we spend a lot of time discussing all the feedback that we get. You talk to us in the bars, you talk to us at the mixers. We do listen, we do hear. We can't act on everything, and Lindsay gets a real hard time because we pile it on. We ask her to do everything, her and her team to do everything that we hear. It's not being ignored. So please keep it coming, but also please be understanding that we're in a rebuild phase, and we will continue to be in that rebuild phase for a while yet, but we will try to take on board as much as we possibly can. So I'll hand over to Lindsay and Melissa to wrap up.
Yeah, I want to make a special shout out to the TEA staff. This staff has been amazing all week long. It really, really is incredible, from the booth to the mixer on Tuesday night to the program and the member meeting today. Please, TA staff, can you please stand, raise your hands. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The contributions go far beyond just what happens here and now. It's months and months of planning and really, really a love and appreciation of our membership and what we're all trying to achieve. So I want to end. I think we are 8 minutes early. Right? That's pretty good. We're never early. So 8 minutes early, we're going to give you that back in your day. I know some of the division boards are going to be meeting after this. I want to just say a huge thank you to you all. 8 a.m. on a Thursday of IAPA comes really early. I know that. So thank you all for being here. The buy-in from our membership is so critical. We're volunteers, right? This is not our full-time job, although I would challenge that sometimes this is my full-time job. But this is not what we do. This is not our full-time job. This is what we want to give back, because if you want change, then you need to be change. And we do this because we see the passion in our membership on a day-to-day basis. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of IAPA, and we will see you at the booth today and tomorrow. So thank you all.